If you struggle with being seen and heard by others, take a walk with me. I want you to know it's not your fault that you feel this way. In fact, looking for fault is what keeps us in that victim consciousness. You often say to yourself that my life would be so much better if all these other things never happened. And you may have even found yourself saying that my life would be so much better if my parents and caregivers had done something different, if they had just done better. You see, each new generation carries the weight of the one before it. And of course, we never fully realize this, if at all, until much later in life. You end up having some sort of healing experience, or you become a seeker of knowledge. And all that seeking that you're doing grants you access to a higher level of empathy, compassion, and understanding. Understanding of what came before you. You begin to connect the dots of your epigenetic family line. It's rooted in a shared suffering that many never escape from. And it's because you never gained access to the tools that are already inside of you. You never acquired the skill sets to become fully self actualized. And this isn't blaming you, it's just an awareness of how stuck that we can be. It's so much easier to blame everything outside of us for our circumstances. It's all your fault that my life isn't as I expected it to be. And it's exactly those expectations of how you think life should be that keep you stuck. This is a very low vibrational and resentful place to be in. And emotionally, it makes sense. There's all these things that happened or never happened, and that's just why I am the way I am. This ultimately becomes your worldview and your excuse for why nothing good ever seems to happen in your life. And I'm not talking at you. I've been here, and it's a bitch to get out. We become addicted to our pain. It becomes who we know ourselves to be. And we never stop to ask, who would I be without the pain? What would my life look like if I learned to process, accept, and let go? So we meander through life, subconsciously creating the same patterns that we grew up with. And of course, with each generation, there might be slight improvements and better outcomes. And sometimes we still succumb to the coping mechanisms that were created to generate a sense of safety and security in our lives, or as a means of escaping what's happening now. Never fully realizing that this becomes the self-fulfilling prophecy that we continue to get more of what we don't want. And of course, you've heard it a million times. The only way out is through. And one day, many years from now, when you're lying in your bed, you wake up and you realize you've been the perpetrator of your own pain. And from here, you discover a door, a gateway. You find a way off the merry-go-round. You stop, you listen, and you hear your inner voice, and it says, surrender. It's telling you to stop chasing what's not meant for you. When you're stuck in chasing energy, you're filled with feelings of anxiety. You have to fix them. You have to change them. You have to do something to get them to see you, hear you, love you, validate you, and appreciate you. You look to others to confirm your experiences. And if they don't, it makes you doubt your own reality. And this is a great place to stop and think for a moment and ask yourself, who else made you doubt yourself in that way? And I want you to take a moment and to say this with me. I release this bad energy. I release this negative energy because I don't need it anymore. I recognize that this is not my burden to bear, and it never was. I'm ready to be my fully embodied self. I'm ready to allow myself to be seen, heard, loved, and understood. I'm ready to allow myself to receive. I recognize that when something comes in contact with my no, N-O, or my boundaries, that it's an opportunity to become more integrated and to ask myself, is this a no because I'm scared or a no because I'm sabotaging myself? I'm afraid of receiving a really amazing opportunity because of my own lack of self-worth. And some of you may remember Wayne and Garth. We're not worthy. I'm not worthy of receiving. Only good people get to have those experiences. Other people, not me. My internal story is, I'm not good, I'm bad, don't embarrass me. So you end up living a life that is smaller than you're capable of providing for yourself and others. You stay out of sight, sit in the back of the classroom to avoid being noticed. You don't even like your own birthday. And all of this leaves you unable to accept gifts, to accept the accolades that you've earned, to accept the very rare compliment when it comes to you, and ultimately to accept love. You may even find it difficult to accept help from others, even though you need it. And I can't make this any more clear for you. It is your job to seek the help and assistance of others. It's your job to build a strong support system and relationships with others, to find people who support your goals, dreams, and desires, to spend less time with others who make you feel less than. You only ever need one person who truly believes in you. And many of you are going to be in a lonely time period for quite a long time. It's the gap between who you used to be and who you're becoming. You may find it difficult to make connections that are in support of your highest good. So for a while, it may only be you who believes in you, but you're never alone, and God is always on your side. This is a journey of self discovery that is unique to you, where you grow, evolve, change, and develop. And the people around you will always try to remind you of who you were, but that person doesn't exist anymore. And you've already reconciled that inside of you. It's not your job to change how people see or think of you. And if they still need that version of you in their head, let them have it. As you grow, you begin to raise your vibration, and new opportunities and networking become available to you. You become a physical and emotional match for the things that you desire most. You realize that life isn't happening to you, that you're actually creating and co creating with others. This is where you get intentional and you start the pursuit of happiness. You create a definition for yourself of what a life well lived actually means. You connect with and get clear on your goals, values, and standards for your life. And you start doing the things that are in alignment with that. You surrender your expectations and feelings of anxiety to a higher power. You finally allow yourself to live more in the present moment. You no longer time travel into the future to create a sense of safety and security as you try to anticipate everything that ever happens in your life. You no longer time travel into the past because you see everything through rose-colored glasses and the past was so much better than the present moment. You finally allow yourself to live in this moment because you recognize this is the only moment that you have right now. You let what comes to come and what goes to go. You release control for flow and resentment for connection. And remember, we're wired for connection. So stop pretending that we don't need anybody. But you do have to exercise discernment on who you invite into your life.